Welcome to the Bulletproof Entrepreneur Podcast, episode 10.
If you're ready to take your destiny into your own hands, you've come to the right place. This is Odeshi, the Bulletproof Entrepreneur, featuring interviews with the most exciting and amazing entrepreneurs across Africa. Here's your host, Chi Odogu.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Bulletproof Entrepreneur Podcast, episode 10. It's really been a pleasure being on this roller coaster ride, and I thank everyone for sticking with us all the way from episode 1 up to our 10th episode. And once again, I just want to remind everyone, please leave a review on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher. It helps us know what we need to tweak for the show, what you guys like, what you don't like, and it helps us grow and develop a better show for you, the audience. Now let's take a quick word from our sponsors and then get right on into the show.
Are you running out of food and need to run to the store for supplies? Is your baby still crying because his favorite milk is out of stock at the supermarket? Well, don't fret. Supermart NG is here to save the day. Supermart NG is Nigeria's leading online grocery store. All you have to do is shop at their site, and a team of personal shoppers will package and deliver the goods to your doorstep within 3 hours of placing an order. No more 6-hour traffic jams. Spend more quality time with your family by shopping at Supermart NG. That's SUPERMART.NG. See you there.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This episode is very, very exciting and interesting. We're talking to Mazen Helmy. He's a co-founder and managing director of The District, a pioneering co-working space based out of Egypt. Mazen has been dubbed by Forbes as one of the young entrepreneurs to watch. He's come to share his experiences as an entrepreneur and pioneering founder of a new business concept in Egypt, and also to tell us about his vision for his company and Egypt's young budding entrepreneurs in the coming years. Mazen, welcome to the show.
So basically, I was born in Egypt, and I spent my whole life living in Cairo in Egypt. I was born in 1986, so now I'm having 28 years old. Essentially, when I was young, I spent my whole childhood doing swimming, as a profession. Not as a profession, but it was really profession, swimming, till I joined the national team, the Egyptian national team. At the age of 17, I started getting more engaged in development projects. We started different initiatives, whether for education, for promoting health lifestyle, or on different courses. And after university, when I graduated, I had Bachelor of Construction Engineering, and after that, I started working beside my normal construction and engineering work, and several other initiatives and entrepreneurial path. So it started I started a cafe, a social cafe in 2011, and I had to shut it down after 8 months because of the revolution. I started a textile and t-shirt business, clothing business. It was very well till we had to shut it down as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2011, the idea of the district started in 2010, and finally in 2011, we started the district. Was one of the first and pioneering co-working spaces in Egypt and the region. After 4 years now, we have reached very successful point and milestone with the district, whether the size of our community, all the activities and partners we have been working with. I guess now we are having the largest and biggest co-working space in Egypt, and our plan is still rolling.
Okay. Oh, great, Mazen. So tell me a little bit about your experiences before you started down the entrepreneurial journey. You were working as an engineer. Was there a specific incident or a specific case that made you say, I don't want to work for someone anymore, I want to be an entrepreneur? Or did you always have that drive and that passion to do something for yourself growing up?
I guess it was gradually. I was lucky enough that my in my family, they're quite open-minded, so they would always accept whatever decisions that we are taking. I think the path itself, it started in when I was 17, 11 years ago, when you are still in school.
Mm-hmm.
You are having you see any social cause that you want to solve with your friends. So this is when it's for me, like entrepreneurship, it's about like instead of blaming someone, instead of waiting from the government or any other people to solve a problem, you go out and you try to create a solution. It started that early. At that time, like I didn't know anything about like entrepreneurship or startup or like this business, and I kept like working normally, like even in my like working in a company or working like in the construction field. I had always this like entrepreneurial or intrapreneurial spirit in my working, whether like it's always like calculated risk taking, being always like responsible, trying always to find solution instead of just like stating again the challenges and the problem. By the end of 2010, I decided the construction field in Egypt is not that challenging for me.
Okay.
And this is when I decided, no, like I want something like more challenging, more dynamic, that change very fast, and you can like really like challenge all your innovation and creative ideas in it.
Okay. So you wanted something challenging and dynamic. So that led you to create the cafe. Why did you create a cafe to start with? And what were the problems with that?
So basically, like my thing, I figured out that like we are having in our life, like normally like we are having like a very static pattern of life. Like, even like our network and our communities, they're a little bit like the same.
Yeah.
So whether you're in school, you're having your school friends, in your neighborhood, you're having your neighborhood friends. And when I started like working with development project, I figured out that like how can like just like knowing one person, it can like create a total different path for your life and like other people, your friends and your family and your even like your partners. Having like a dynamic like network where like you can always get to know people and exchange ideas and like find like opportunities with everyone around you, that was very important for me. If I figured out like maybe I want to break this boundaries of existing communities and friends and networks that I have been living within. So like I came up with the idea like maybe like we need a different like social gathering spot, which like at that place was a cafe where people they can mingle and meet after work, and everyone is feeling very safe to expand their network and get to know each other. So basically people they are gathering to get to know each other, and the supplies of the cafe itself, like all the menu, were from entrepreneurs. Like we wanted to support like women or like widows or divorced that they are having their families and they want to find like a source of sustaining themselves financially, sustaining their families without actually like leaving their houses or in their homes. So they were supplying us with all the products, like whether the food and beverage and goodies, and if you're having an event, they were supplying, and basically our job was to manage the supply chain.
And so what were the problems that caused you to shut down that venture?
Because like it happened like it was just like after we start actually like kicking off. We kicked it off in October 2010, and then like 3 months later, the revolution came.
The revolution, okay.
Yeah, and especially like the first couple of months, like things have been like so out of order in Egypt, like whether like currency devaluation, like safety, security. Like we had like lots of clients who were like expats living in Egypt, and like all the expats they left. So we figured out like maybe like it's a wise decision like to twist a little bit and change the model.
Okay.
And this leads us to maybe like now it's the time to start like with the co-working space, which is more a living space, not just like for the afternoon, not just for the evening, but it's all about like your life. So we wanted to break this rigid wall of 5 p.m. when you finish your work and you go out for the social part of your life. No, like social part and professional part, like we wanted to mix it in one single space.
Okay, that's interesting. So now I was in the US at the time of the revolution, and we all watched the revolution as it was going on in Egypt. Could you tell us what the feeling was like as a young person in Egypt when all these changes were happening? What was the mindset of going through the mind of the youth?
I'll tell you, it's basically, if I'm talking about like young people.
Yes.
It's basically we all woke up one day and we figured out, like this big dream, this big dream that we had, it turned out in something really serious now, like it had an outcome. Because like it's like the revolution started as a normal protest against the police brutality. Mm-hmm. And suddenly like, in 2 weeks, everything like turned upside down, and it ended up with actually like bringing down a whole regime. So like this psychologically and emotionally for young people, we figured out like, no, it's possible, it's doable. You just like need to dream big, gather the right resources around you, and persist, and you can do it. So even like for the older generation, for my parents or our grandparents, suddenly they figured out, no, like maybe like this young kid or like this, the youth of Egypt, they're having real power that needs to be well mobilized. They're having knowledge, they're having the energy, they're having the passion and dedication to do something, whether it's on the political side or the social side or whatever. It was really like a social wake-up call for everyone.
And has that momentum continued in the past 3-4 years now? Because it was really a groundswell. We all watched what was happening. The government was overthrown. Things started to change rapidly. A lot of the business people left. But we also heard that because of the rapid changes that occurred, more new businesses were now looking at Egypt as, wow, this is actually a place where we can all go into and start like helping these guys to develop their economy, develop their country in the right way that things are typically done. So has that momentum continued?
Yeah, I really think like this momentum is still continuing.
Okay,
maybe like some people they lost energy, but it does exist. It's all like it was a wake up call for everyone. If I'm just like even like for normal people to questioning the status quo, questioning everything, like accepting new ideas, like things that everything is possible. The amount of initiatives that I saw since the revolution till now, whether it's social initiative or like business ideas or startup, it's tremendous.
Yeah.
And you can find like a 16 years old kid who's having like these bright ideas and like they're starting their own company while they're still in school and they're selling their application like on iTunes or like the App Store or whatever, and they're making actual like money. They're creating like a revenue. Instead of just like spending all their like childhood and their life like playing PlayStation or like any other like video game, they're improving themselves and like they're talking with like very complicated business sense and terminologies. I really think it's like this momentum still exists and it's growing.
Yeah, because I'm looking at one of the statistics here of one of the startup websites, and it shows actually, not that it seems like that, Egypt has the highest number of startups that were recorded out of Africa. Today, it's somewhere around 230 startups that were created in Egypt, and that's like almost 50% more than the next country. So this change in mindset, this belief in it is possible to dream big, and the empowering experience that came out of the revolution is still propelling Egypt, because the numbers are showing it right here. So in the middle of this revolution, you now start the district. Tell us a little bit about how you went about, building up the district, raising the funds to get the premises, how you publicized it. What was your experience like?
Actually, it was very bold time. I guess thinking backward, I think like I took really like very bold decisions, and steps, like not really well calculated, but like eventually like it turned out something very positive. But at that time I had really
So what were some of those bold steps?
First thing, like after like finishing like all this, like I spent like so many times like working on all like business plan and all this like paperwork and financial projection, but like at a specific point, that was like in March 2011, I decided no, like this thing like won't come true unless we actually like go out and like start doing something. Like we spent like 6 months trying to find the right premises or the right spot to start the district, because like anyone that would explain like what the hell would a community hub or like a co-working space, like they wouldn't get it. So we decided, okay, like if people they don't get it just by word, let's show them visually, let them experience it. So we spent like almost like from March till November, like we spent all this time trying to find out like a nice location, nice spot, someone like who could really believe and support us, like a landlord who can understand the concept and wouldn't give us like hard time. Till it was a very long journey. Cutting it short, after almost like this 8 months, we finally like found our location here. Like we started with just like 400 square meters.
Okay.
The landlord was like very supportive. He was just coming back to Egypt after long working experience like abroad in London.
Okay.
So he had a little bit like the understanding of what's co-working space, and at the same time, like he wanted to support us, to support like the young entrepreneurs to do something. This like, so like we signed the contract with him without really like having like the full amount of capital to start the district. Then like I went, after signing the contract, I went to my friends and like my family, tried to raise like their funds from them. So we can maintain ourselves. Like we got small amount, just like enough to do some installment in the space and buy 20 chairs and 20 desks.
Okay.
And since then, like we have been like really all the profits that we're getting, we have been like injecting again in the space to make it more appealing, to create like more value and to enforce our community.
Okay. Now, my understanding of a co-working space is kind of similar to the experience a graduate student has in graduate school, where you go to class, you're studying with your friends. Outside class, you have class projects that you guys work together. It bleeds into your social life. When you guys go out together, you're thinking of talking about the same issues and challenges. Is that what it eventually turned out to be? Or were there changes in how you were trying to structure how the community will organize itself and feel and...
Yeah, I guess like it's a mix of all, because when we started, like we had an idea, like we want the community and the space to grow in a specific way, but eventually, like being in this whole process, like we didn't like there's no like one formula of doing it. Like the point of like being very lean and agile and responsive to what the community wants. It becoming more like now people are referring to it as a real community hub, not just like a physical space. Like some people are to work from here, other people they are coming just to chat, they're coming to interact with others. They are having their own office, and in the afternoon, in the evening, they're just like coming here to get some inspiration, like talk about like mutual challenges, like find solutions together, or like whether on the business side or social side. So this is the thing that we see, we are not just like focusing on the business side, and I guess the community, they are getting together more for the business side and for the social side. We're still like going out together. We are doing like internal crowdfunding campaigns, whether it's for someone like to buy machineries or for someone else to get married.
You do crowdfunding to get married, really?
Yes.
Wow. That's a new spin. Okay, so you talked a little bit about the challenges of, finding the right landlord to, work with you guys. In starting this business, what were the challenges in terms of convincing people to come and participate in what you were doing, come and use your co-working space?
It was, first, like people, they would, at that time, like it wasn't very clear for people what would be the benefit of coming and being part of community. Because like people, they would come asking for like, all their question was more related to the physical space.
Okay.
Like the desk, internet speed, can I get a closed room, like all these things. But to really convince people about the power and what they can benefit from being like part of a consolidated and a community, that was very difficult. So, and at that time, like we didn't have community because like we started with no one. We launched the space on Thursday, and on next working day, it was Saturday, we had only one person. He came by coincidence. It was a German guy. So we literally like started our community from only one person, and like trying to convince people that come and you will have benefit from being just beside this one person at this stage was very difficult. But like eventually we organized like so many like events, trying to invite like our friends, like sending free invitations to companies to come and bring all their employees and work like 5 days, like on Thursday, or like one day away from their office, from here, from our space, to create just like this dynamic and like let people come and experience the value of sharing space together, sharing resources and sharing knowledge.
Let's talk about the business aspect of the co-working space. This was the first co-working space in Egypt. Had you seen a prior co-working space outside of Egypt, and did you know how it worked? How were you able to like construct, your revenue generating streams?
Yeah, I guess like I before starting here, like I visited like several co-working spaces, mainly in Europe, and online I did like lots of research to figure out like how they are doing their financial model, and that was good as a start, like something to start with. But from that time till now, like I guess like we have really like changed a lot our like whole business model to be like more suitable to the social context here in the market. From like at the start, like we didn't envision, or like we didn't foresee like all this like hidden costs that we are having to maintain a physical space running and like being like appealing and attractive, and all this maintenance costs and the human capital and the human resources and financial resources that it's really that consumes. At that time, like we didn't really understand this, and like what's the best way to actually like to design like space interior and from the interior to accommodate like the highest efficiency. Yeah. It has been like very long journey, like from even like the revenue stream. Like we expected that people would come and pay like mainly from for using the co-working facilities, and now like the co-working facilities it generates revenue, but it's not the highest. We figured out that like the meeting space or event space and even like educational activities, education event, in many cases it generates like more revenue than the co-working space.
Oh wow! So the event space and educational and training generates more than the co-working itself.
Yes, the point, it's not that sustainable every month.
Yeah.
But maybe like for 1 month you are having like good like revenue from it, so it can cover you for 3-4 months, and then like the co-working space and the meeting space, it's more like steady revenue that you can really foresee.
Okay. That's interesting. And do you have any large competitors to the district
now?
Yes.
For sure, like there's competition. Like even like we are having like more co-working space in Egypt, but we are always focusing on like what we are calling we are trying to preserve our DNA. What makes the district a unique space? Like we figured out that maintaining the physical aspect as our unique strength, we wouldn't continue for long in the market. So like we had really to invest really in gathering a very coherent and very strong community and enforcing it.
Okay. And do you have, how many locations do you have? One, or do you have several?
No, now like we are expanding, like still in the same building. Like we started with 400 square meter, and now like we're having like more than almost the whole building. We're having like more than 1,000 square meter.
Okay.
We didn't want to expand in different location before we really like master our experience here.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, Mazen, let's take a quick minute to thank our sponsors and then get on with the rest of the show.
Are you running out of food and need to run to the store for supplies? Is your baby still crying because his favorite milk is out of stock at the supermarket? Well, don't fret. Supermart NG is here to save the day. Supermart NG is Nigeria's leading online grocery store. All you have to do is shop at their site, and a team of personal shoppers will package and deliver the goods to your doorstep within 3 hours of placing an order. No more 6-hour traffic jams. Spend more quality time with your family by shopping at Supermart NG. That's SUPERMART.NG. See you there. Are you interested in increasing sales and driving higher profitability for your company? Do you want to reach over 50 million buyers and potential customers? Then head over to Konga Marketplace at Konga.com. Konga.com is Nigeria's largest e-commerce marketplace that provides millions of customers the ability to access a wide variety of products at very attractive prices. Showcase your goods and services and watch your business explode. Go to Konga.com, that's KONGA.com, and sign up to be a seller on Nigeria's largest marketplace.
So, Mazen, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about some things that have been, I would say, critical issues for the youth in Africa today. I listened to one of the talks you had at TED, and you talked about a man that you had a random conversation with down the street. Could you narrate that conversation again?
Yeah, that was like an old man. Like it was just like directly after the revolution, maybe like 1 year after things have been like so unstable. And I bumped into this guy in the street. Like he's an old man, not really old. He was like around like in his 50s, and like then he came and asked me, like he was very depressed, like, and he's telling me like, go ask your father like whether like is your father is proud of you or not, like what you are doing in your life, and what's the purpose of everything that you have been doing, and what's the purpose of everything we are doing now. I figured out the guy, like he was so down with his kids, with his because like he doesn't see really a future for his kids. Like he invested a lot in their education and trying to secure them alive, was buying them houses and apartments for them to get married in. But after this time of the revolution, I figured out like this guy, he didn't really see any outcome of all the actions that he did, all the effort that he has invested, and he didn't see like a way out. For me, that was very like enriching experience, like talking with this guy. Like he was with us like in the square, like he was protesting, but he lost his energy quite fast, and he didn't see really like where this road is leading to.
I kind of understand what the man was talking about, because there is a sense all across Africa that the social contract has failed a lot of people, where you save up, you send your kids to good schools, they get good grades, they come out and they expect to have a job waiting for them. And now a lot of people go to school, get the nice education, maybe come out with a couple $1,000s in debt, and they can't find jobs, or they're working in jobs where they only earn a living to just pay their bills, and they're not able to do what they're passionate about or what they really want to do with their lives. So what do you think are some of the things that you see in terms of building a community like yours to help give young people a direction and a focus and an avenue to think about entrepreneurship for changing their lives and the trajectory of where their life is going?
Yeah, for me, I really believe, if I'm thinking backward about like me and my life, and like comparing myself like to many of my friends, I guess like I was lucky because like my surrounding, the social context around me like would really accept me to think outside of the box, outside of the norm, like being unconventional. So I guess like for young people this is very important, because like you are growing up and like you are going into this like educational system, and they're starting like planting inside you a seed of like this is the only way of being successful, being recognizable, like having a master or having like a PhD and going to law school or going like to engineering school or whatever. But it's very important like being surrounded by the right people who are having like same mindset, and they wouldn't like judge your choices, and they would always challenge you to think outside of the box and try to find like extend your limits of what you can achieve. Like this is very important because like this is the only way actually for me, I think, to experience like the limit of your passion and the limit of your dreams. Just like surround yourself with the right people, like people who wouldn't start criticizing you, because like the social context where you are starting is very important. Like if you're having all your family and your friends and everyone around you, they are criticizing what you are doing. Like there's only one way, like or two ways. Either that you are accepting what they are saying and you're quitting your life to live the life that they are drawing for you, or that they are designing for you, or the other way, you are quitting them and try to be part of another community that they're having like same beliefs and same values as what you are carrying around. What I see within our community, it's really like a community of hope, a community of seeing solutions. So we are calling the district like it's a solution factories. Okay. We don't want people really who are coming just like to state and pointing finger and play this blame game. The problem is with the government or with X and Y and Z, and everyone in our community, it's really like they decide to be part of the solution. Like they're here to find solution. Living your life based on being, I'm coming out of like engineering school. Like you're having a question, you're analyzing it, and you have to come up with a solution. Otherwise, like you're just like turning out in vicious circles. Living in really like and believing that there is always a solution. This is a totally like we're calling it. It's a very positive life. You're living and you're always seeing a value of what you are doing. Whether like the value, in many cases it's not financial value. It can be like social value. It can be like experience that you are gaining. It can be like whatever it is. But like always like try to be like modest and like understand, like analyze like what are the negative side, but at the same time like always like focus on the positive side, like thinking about like the solution, thinking about like always like from a different perspective, and start action. Because just like thinking about positive things and like dreaming without actual taking steps and actual action, it's just like mere dreams. You have to put this dream into like planning and start taking actions and see like what will be the outcome. Because like you cannot plan, like, even in business now, like you cannot really plan if you're having a startup or a small enterprise. You cannot plan for 5 years. You're coming up with a very like innovative, like bright idea, new product, new style, like new process of doing specific things, and then you're going directly into the market. You are testing it. You are trying to validate your assumptions, and then you're improving again. You are trying to readapt your assumption, and that's how it works for me. That's how it works for many of our like entrepreneurs in the community.
Interesting. So could you tell us a little bit about some of the interesting companies that have come out of the district?
Yeah, with the district, we're not really focusing. We don't attract like specific industry, so that's why like it's very rich.
No, I mean the companies, like new things people are doing.
One of the very cool initiatives that people, one of our communities, they are doing like rooftop gardening. So they are doing like urban farming for like less privileged families and low income families, so they can like plant vegetables on the rooftop, and this company like they're helping them selling it in the market. So they're giving them like the equipment, the technical skills. They're following up with them, and then they're helping them even like distributing and marketing it.
Oh wow!
We are having another company. It's a foundation. It's called like Nubian Treasure. They're helping improve the capacity of Nubian artisan and help them like market their product, like the real local products. Another company is called Qadim, which is in Arabic mean ancient. Basically, what they are doing, they are trying to revive all the ancient designs and try to do it like within modern technology. So they're doing like engraving on glass, on stones, and on wood, using sand, having like amazing masterpieces, and they're selling it like all over the world. So.
Wow. So basically, these are not the typical things you would expect to see like in the West. These are uniquely different and uniquely distinguished to Egypt in terms of solving the problems that are within the locality.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Nice. So, Mazen, let's switch gears again. Could you tell us some of the entrepreneurs that you've admired over the years? Those that have shaped the way you yourself think of starting a business, running a business, and a venture.
Yeah, like so many. I guess like I've been like so inspired by my father. My father, like himself, like he was an entrepreneur. Like he started working at very early age, like when he was 6 years old, to pay for his school.
Okay.
Like my father had been like a source of inspiration. My older brother as well, and like so many other like entrepreneurs that I met during my journey. Like everyone is having like something very unique about their characters, their personalities, like the way they are perceiving things. But the common thing about all these people, they're all positive thinkers.
Okay.
They don't complain. They act to find solutions.
Oh, that's great. So, what are some of your favorite books?
I'm having a lot.
Okay, break it down. Like the top books that you would recommend to someone.
One of the books that really like helped me since the start it's called Blue Ocean Strategy. That's like how you think like and like create like a different formula, different strategy of introducing an existing working model in the market. This is one thing. One of the other books I really like, it's called Bold.
Bold, okay.
Yeah, Bold is like how to be brave in business and win. Normally like so many like business books by Guy Kawasaki.
Yes, he's a favorite of mine as well.
I really like the guy. There was a book by Donald Trump, definitely, some of his book, like. And Richard Branson, I'm really inspired by Richard Branson. I really like him.
Okay. What about him do you admire?
I really like that the guy, like, no, he's really like, for him, like, the sky is the limit. Yani, he always think to exceed, like, now like, they're doing, like, some space trips. no one else has ever thought about this. So I really think what I really like about the guy, that I think that he's enjoying his life.
Yes, he is.
He's really doing like crazy things with his life, and the same thing. You feel that he's in the whole business game. It's like for him, it's a game. Like he's doing it to enjoy it.
Yes.
Like come up with a very wild idea and try to put it into action, and just like getting it rolling. So I don't think that like he's not even like among the top like richest 10 people over the world. But I really like.
But he's having fun at what he's doing. That's the main thing you get from him when you see him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. And you said you like Kawasaki's books, Blue Ocean Strategy, and Bold. All right. Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. And it's this. Now, looking back on your experiences thus far, starting this company in the last 3 years, if you were to go back, maybe before you started your entrepreneurial journey, what's the one piece of advice you would tell yourself?
Tell myself, and that's the thing that I'm always reminding myself, done is better than perfect. So just like if you're having an idea, like go out, take action for it, and then like working on improving it.
It's better to have at least something out there than sitting down and writing a business plan and projections and all those things that, once it hits the first customer, it's going to completely change your 6 months of work.
Exactly. So I remember like when I'm talking with my father and like I'm telling him like any like big ideas that I'm having, the first thing he's asking me like, what would be your first step? It's really like, it's not just, it's amazing to think big and like have these big dreams, but like this big dream like will never happen without the first step.
Yes.
It's very important to take the first step and take it fast.
Take the first step and take it fast. Great. And now, another advice to recent graduates that are just coming out of university and thinking of starting business ventures. What would you advise them? Or what would you advise someone that is coming to Egypt fresh from, let's say, Europe or the Americas, and they want to come and try and start a new business in Egypt? What would you tell them to look out for?
I guess like they're having much better, and for me, like someone like coming from Europe or from anywhere, when they are coming to Egypt, like they have to come like with very fresh eye and fresh perspective, because that will give them like very creative and innovative ideas for solution. So just like maintain this very fresh and virgin perspective on everything, any problem that you see around, and interact directly with the local people, so you can test and validate your assumptions.
Have a fresh eye and interact directly with the local people. That's great. That's great. Now, this is my final question of the day. So, if you were to talk to your favorite person in the world, and you wanted to ask them, maybe if they're on their sick bed or their dying bed, what would be the one piece of, advice you would ask your favorite person, the person you look up to the most, and why?
I say like I think I would I'd go again for Richard Branson.
Okay.
And I would ask him like how he can manage to balance between like especially and control the stress level with all the startup, while starting a business, because like maintaining this like balance between achieving, working really hard, and at the same time enjoying your life.
And is stress a big factor in running the district?
Yes, sure.
Okay, that's great. But I hope you're trying to balance it out for yourself before we ask Richard Branson.
I'm trying. I'm really trying hard.
Okay, that's great. But thanks a lot, Mazen. We've reached the end of the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We've really learned a lot about your experience since starting the district. How people should just take action and have things done rather than waiting for things to be perfect. Because in reality, there's nothing that's going to be 100% perfect
Exactly.
For you to keep waiting and planning and saying, "Oh, I'll get this when I have all my ducks in a row." By then, somebody that has launched even something crappy would be way ahead of you just because they're already in contact with the market, as opposed to you trying to get everything squared away and lined away. But we've really enjoyed your discussion, your advice, and just hearing your story in general. Thanks a lot for spending the time with us.
Thank you, Chief, for the opportunity, and I would really love to stay in touch.
Oh, definitely. And we'll look forward to having you on the show once again so that we can talk about, maybe the district when you started expanding to different countries and your struggles and your successes and other issues that come up with your life in general.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thanks, Mazen.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Have a very good day.
You too. And there you have it, guys. A very inspirational discussion with Mazen Helmy. I can see why Forbes magazine decided to rank him as one of the inspirational young entrepreneurs in Africa to watch out for. So, if you're looking to start a business or to start a venture, as he rightly said, just start now, Make a go of it and just keep kicking the ball down the road. All you have to do is keep kicking the ball down the road, as my chancellor used to say. So, just want to tell everyone, thanks for tuning in once again. It's been a pleasure talking to Mazen and all the other wonderful entrepreneurs that have helped me start the first 10 episodes. I can't believe it. It was just an idea back in July that's now materialized to 10 episodes, and I really don't know where this is going to go, but I do appreciate being able to share the journey with you and the rest of the listeners out there in the world. So I just want to encourage everyone that has a dream or has an idea to do something. Just like Mazen said, just get started, and you never know where things will lead or how things are going to turn out. But once you get started, your momentum of starting out is just going to help propel you forward. And a very special thank you to my team member, my sister, Chinye Odogo. She's the one behind all the show notes on the website, as well as all the ads and other back-end activities, so that way I can focus on working on the front-end side of our podcast and show. So if you have any questions, comments, or feedback for us, please go to odeshi.com, Odeshi.com. Leave your questions, your comments, your feedback, your reviews, and anything else you'd like us to discuss or talk about or share. And I and Mazen will be happy to respond to you. Until next time, guys, take care, get bulletproof, and never give up, never quit.
Don't let another minute go by without taking action to change your life. Visit Odeshi.com right now for more incredible resources, and we'll see you next time on Odeshi, the Bulletproof Entrepreneur.